So I'm back with the Versus video. Been a while since I've done one of these, but we'll be talking about a couple classics here from the 90s, the early 90s, and those albums are Angel Dust by Faith No More and Blood Sugar Sex Magik by Red Hot Chili Peppers. And yeah, both of these albums are big albums for these bands and some of the band's best works in my opinion. And first we're going to talk about Angel Dust by Faith No More. Now, some of you probably already know that this is an album that I've mentioned before is one of my favorite albums of all time. And of course, my favorite album from Faith No More, and probably one of my favorite albums in the 90s, from the 90s in general, if I'm being honest. I mean, not a single weak track on it. You get some of the band's best singles on here, like Everything's Ruined and A Small Victory, and of course, Midlife Crisis. But I think you also get some of the band's best deep cuts on this album. Especially songs like Kindergarten and Crack Hitler. Crack Hitler probably being one of my favorite songs on the album. You do get, of course, some pretty good bass work from Billy on this album, such as in songs like Everything's Ruined and Crack Hitler. But you also have the album opener, Land of Sunshine, which I think is one of the band's best album openers. Probably a contender for maybe being my favorite album opener from the band. It's either going to be that song or From Out of Nowhere, of course. But I mean, Wake Care a Lot's also pretty good too. Either way, definitely one of their best album openers for sure. But yeah, I also dig the heavier moments in the album too, especially such as songs like Malpractice and Jizz Lobber. But of course, the more melodic moments are good too, like RV, for example. Now with RV, this is a song that I've always felt has always been the weakest song on the album. But with that said, I don't think that's really saying a whole lot, not really saying much. I still think that song is still pretty good for what it is. But it is probably, well, of course, that one, Midnight Cowboy, those are probably the two songs I return to the least from the album, but I still think those two songs are still pretty good. This is an album I can still listen to from front to back with no issue. Again, perfect album in my opinion. And of course, you also have Mike Patton, and vocally, he's really on fire on this album, especially in songs like Jizz Lobber and Malpractice. But yeah, all around, really great album, really good stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magik. Again, a huge album for them, especially thanks to hit singles like Under the Bridge and Give It Away. And I also like the other singles on the album too, like Breaking the Girl, which I think has some of my favorite vocals on the album from Anthony Kiedis. And you also have the title track, which is probably another one of my favorites on the album. But you move towards some of the lesser known songs on the album. I really enjoy If You Have to Ask and The Righteous and the Wicked. I think those are some of the more underrated songs off the album. With that said, while I do think this is one of the band's best, I do feel that from track 13 and on, the album starts to go into kind of meh territory, except for one song, Stir Psycho Sexy. I do like that song, but I think it's all around pretty strong from track 1, The Power of Equality, to track 12, Naked in the Rain. But again, from track 13 and on, I feel like the album does start to dive into, again, kind of meh territory, but still not bad. No bad songs on here, but I do feel like the last 4 or 5 songs on the album are some of the weakest songs on here. But again, I do think Sir Psycho Sexy is one of the stronger songs when it comes to the second half of the album. But yeah, no bad songs on here. But if I were to name some of my favorites, I mean, The Power of Equality, Suck My Kiss, which I think is one of their best singles. The Righteous and the Wicked is probably another one of my favorites. Same with the title track. And of course, I do still enjoy Under the Bridge. But yeah, definitely one of the band's best for sure. Now, if I had to pick what my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album is, it's probably going to be Californication. But this album and Mother's Milk would kind of fight for that second place spot. But all around, another really great album from the 90s. Still holds up in my opinion. But if I had to choose which album I like more for this video, I'm probably going to have to go with Angel Dust by Faith No More. And I'm sure for those who know me a bit more, they'll probably not be surprised by my choice here. But either way, got to go with Angel Dust when it comes to a front-to-back album listen. I think Angel Dust is the stronger album. But either way, I still think both albums are still really good. But let me know what album you would choose in the comment section below and all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, a like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.